Now, when 15-year-old Chloe Tomalin got bored with the range of magazines for teenagers currently on the market, she decided to do something pretty radical. Now, she must be the youngest editor in the region, the brains behind her new free online teen magazine. And Chloe is with me in the studio now, who just nipped out of school to come and say hello. Hello, Chloe, how are you?
Good morning, I'm fine, thank you.
This is great. I used to say when I was at school and I got my first job in radio, I was actually still at school, and I used to work sort of part-time, and they used to allow me the time out because they said that was careers advice. And that's kind of what yours is all about, really.
I'm currently missing media studies, so I'm okay.
You're doing media studies. You are living it right now, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Let's talk about this achievement, really, because what prompted you to create Teen Magazine?
Well, I knew I wanted to do something for teenagers that was real life and about community and things that go on, not just about hair and beauty and celebrities. So I started thinking, and then I realised that people want free stuff. So that's how the teenmagazine.com was born.
Yeah, you say free stuff. What kind of things do you think people want?
Well, when I was looking on the shelves, do I really want to spend £4 for a weekly magazine? And then all these free giveaways, and I thought there must be a way that I can give something back to the teen market.
And do you think that sometimes, because I was looking at quite a few magazines, and it shocks me how young the magazine industry is going now. I mean, we buy my little girl Phoebe, who's 2.5. We buy it in the Night Garden every 2 weeks. That's a magazine. I couldn't believe it. You know, there's a 2.5-year-old getting a regular magazine, so they are starting much younger now. Does it worry you that the magazines seem to be going for the more commercial end of it? That there's not much content in there? Is that part of it?
Well, yes, there is. And because the magazines are going younger in age groups, now they're forgetting about teenagers, and it's not about things that teenagers would be interested in anymore. And a lot of the big magazines are now having to close because people don't want to pay and they don't find it interesting or gripping enough for them.
What kind of issues do you and your friends, what are you interested in? What kind of things do you want to read about?
Well, news and things that apply to us and things that we can have a say in, so we can voice our opinions online and through the magazine, and community matters and charitable things as well.
There's always, I notice this a lot, with many young people are very keen on getting involved in charity matters, aren't they? And
yes.
Especially environmental issues, that seems to be quite a big thing.
And sometimes we don't get the chance to get involved because nobody gives us the chance. So within the magazine, I'm giving people the chance.
Why do you think people don't give teenagers the chance to have their say and get them involved?
Well, it's all about stereotypes, I think, because everyone just thinks we sit in a park late at night in our hoodies and drink and smoke and have sex, and that's not what we're about. Some people are like that, but there's many out there that want to make a difference and want to change the communities that they live in.
Let's talk a little bit about what's actually in the magazine then. You've given me a sneak preview there, which you've brought in on your laptop. The thing to mention, first of all, this is a totally online magazine, so people can download this. That's how it works.
It's completely free. All you have to do is log on to the website, www.theteenmagazine.com, and you can see there all about the issues and the pictures within it, and links to all the other websites like missingpeople.org.uk and things like that. And you can download either a best copy, a good copy, or an okay copy, depending on how you want to view your pictures. And then everything in there is teen-based, and everything's written by teenagers, and all the pictures are taken by teenagers.
That's great. So you've got your contributors. Who are the people? How have you chosen them?
Well, I found quite a few people through Twitter and YouTube, and a few of my friends have come along and said, oh, I've got a picture, can you use it? And then they get credited, and if they have a YouTube channel, I forward their YouTube channel onto all my subscribers.
Yeah. It's a great idea, isn't it? So you've got the whole online community going around. It's interesting we're talking about this today because, of course, we've been talking about with How Bentham at Breakfast on the subject of online security and these awful stories of bullying that goes on Facebook and all the rest. And one of the questions we've been asking earlier today is, do we need to be vetting online more?
Well, it's funny you said that, actually, because within the last issue, the September issue, we were talking about Horatio Chappell, who was killed by the polar bear. And the stuff we we found online was absolutely disgusting. So we actually put in the magazine about how disappointed we were that fellow teenagers were writing such things about people they don't even know.
Yeah. Because it's easy, isn't it? And that's one thing we were talking about this morning. It's just easy to be able to go online whenever you want and just put a derogatory comment or something that can hurt, because people don't think as much as they would if they had to write on a piece of paper and mail it and take the time and the effort. It would be a completely different thing, wouldn't it, really? It's interesting that you're launching this as an online magazine. Can you see that as the future for quite a lot of magazines, that they're going to go that way?
Well, it's inevitable, really, because now everything's online and people don't want to pay for stuff and they want it in the here and now. They don't want to have to go out to the shop and buy it or wait for it to come in the post. Now they can just log on to their emails and there it is on screen.
Yeah, and you've obviously done a little bit of, quite a lot of research before, because this is, it's very, I've got to look, I've done a sneak preview now, it's very, very impressive, and the quality is very, very high. So you can't go into something like this lightly, can you? How big a task has it been for you to work out what it is you were going to do, who you were going to use, and how you were going to process it?
Well, I spoke to a lot of people and a whole variety of age ranges. I asked 40-year-olds what they thought of the idea, and they were trying to get into teenage shoes to try and think what they would view the magazine as. But people have been really nice about the whole project, and I've had a lot of people say that it is the future and it's the way forward.
Yeah, it's funny you should say 40-year-old people. I'm 44 in October, and I like to try and keep as in touch as I possibly can.
So what do you think, Tony?
Well, this is the thing. I'm glad you asked me the question, Chloe, because the one thing I'm starting to realise is that when you get to a certain age, you can still communicate with people who are younger than you. You can't be seen as the old man and all that sort of thing. But what you can't expect to be is to be part of that party. You can't pretend to be mates in the same way, because you're not, because the generations are different.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why magazines aren't selling off the shelves, because you can't expect a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old to be in the shoes of a 15-year-old. They're not going to know what 15-year-olds feel or want to know about. So that's my USP. That's how I'm different. Yeah,
because the other thing is, I suppose, that if you have somebody, say, older, who is in overall charge of the actual product itself, then with the experience that they've had through the years, they may be able to add some guidance, possibly. But I suppose it's how much guidance do you want, as opposed to how much input. Because if that guidance turns into an interruption into that input, then it negates the whole point of doing it in the first place, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's hard to find that balancing line. Do you have any guidance from anybody older, or is it all absolutely down to people of your own age?
I have ideas from older people, but at the end of the day, I'm the editor, I'm boss. So I take into account what people think and how they feel about it. It's like some people think that it's wrong if in a song they swear, and I don't particularly think that's okay.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, I'm not going to completely take that off my iTunes because it's got swearing in.
Yeah.
So it's just the way the world works at the minute.
And I suppose really you've got to be true to your reader too, don't you? You have.
Exactly.
If you say one thing one week and then you go with the common flow because it seems that's the right thing to say, then people are going to see through that pretty quickly, aren't they?
You have to be true to yourself at the end of the day. I can't have any body issues if I'm writing about body issues. I've got to make teens feel confident and good in their own self and skin.
Yeah. And how local will this be? Because I know that you're local yourself, of course, aren't you? Do you live in, is it Droitwich you live in?
Bromsgrove.
Bromsgrove area.
It's national, so, potentially international. Anybody in the world can access it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting hits from all over the world at the minute through the blogs and, of course, Twitter. So it's all going a bit crazy.
Fantastic. Well, that's how we like to hear. Give us that address again if people want to download their copy and find out more.
It's www.theteenmagazine.com.
There we are. It's actually quite frightening how focused you are. Great stuff. Good on you, Chloe. Great to meet you today. Thanks very much, Steve, for being with us. And we'll give you that address again a little bit later on this morning here at BBC Hereford and Worcester.
Wake up with Howard and Tony at breakfast.